SEO feels overwhelming, but it doesn't have to. In this Counsel Cast Chambers episode, we're taking a fresh look at our conversation with SEO expert Pete Everitt, where we break down exactly what law firms should begin with when it comes to search engine optimization. From understanding how search engines really work to building the foundational pieces that your firm needs to rank, Pete lays out a simple strategic starting point without jargon or fluff. Whether you're brand new to SEO or need to clean up a scattered approach, this episode gives you the clarity and confidence to move forward the right way. Let's jump into the essentials. Here is Counsel Cast Chambers, the best of Counsel Cast re-examined. What is the mystery of SEO and how do we consider the timeline of results?
Okay, so SEO is this massive topic, which if you don't have to go back too far in history to find that SEOs don't really have a very good reputation. Because traditionally SEO was, a company will take your money, go and buy a load of links off some dodgy website somewhere that you don't really know what they're doing or where they're coming from, and then send you a report each month that says, hey, look at what we've done, how great are we, just give us more money. That's all we need you to do.
And there's still companies like that. I have definitely come across companies that still do that kind of stuff.
Yeah, it's true. And I hasten to add, neither of my companies are companies that do that.
Not Pete.
So in essence, SEO is really just playing the game that Google has set out in front of you. And I know there are other search engines out there and people will use Bing because it's buried in every start menu on a Windows computer and all those kind of things. But actually, Google is the world superpower in this. So whether you love them or hate them, they're the ones that are really setting the playing field for it. Historically or mythologically or whatever the word is, there are 512 different parts to the SEO algorithm. Now, helpfully, Google doesn't tell you what they all are, and they don't tell you how they all work, and they don't tell you how each one is weighted. So we do know that
seem very friendly. I feel like they don't really care about our relationship.
Oh no, they don't. This is purely a one-sided thing. And then they do really awkward stuff.
Kind of breaks my heart a little bit.
Well, then they also do this really awkward thing where they nearly every year they produce an update on New Year's Day. So as an SEO, I go back to work after having a lovely, relaxing Christmas to every client going, "Whoa, what's going on with my website?" and I hate it. Not a very
nice Christmas present. I really feel like they just are destroying our relationship. It's just not nice at all.
So here, there you go. There's the title for the show. Our relationship with Google, a one-sided story.
They're kind of narcissistic.
Yeah. There's no give and take. They just take.
For some reason, I don't think that's really newsworthy, though. That's not like headline news that somehow Google is narcissistic, the leader of our basic online world.
You're dead right. So if you just stand back for 1 minute and think about, I know we're joking about it, but think about how Google makes money. So Google is a business, whether you like it or not. It's a business. It's there to make money, and it makes some people very rich. And the way it does that is by selling advertising. So it's really an advertising company, not a search company in that respect. And it sells advertising to the 4 people who pay to be at the top of every search results page. So, they run a program called Google Ads, and you can create ads. Anybody can go and pay to be at the top of a search term as long as there's enough volume for ads to be running. It's then a bidding war for people to appear in those top 4 results.
Yeah.
The way that Google can charge the most money to appear in those top 4 results is to make sure that the 10 results that are underneath that are the best possible results that they can be. So by doing SEO in inverted commas, what you're actually doing is helping Google make money by selling advertising. That's really what you're doing. I know that sounds terrible and you'd say, well, why would I help another business do it? But the reality is they get so much traffic to some of these terms. This is what people do. It's even in the expression now, I'm going to Google this.
Right. Nobody says I'm going to go Bing this, or I'm going to go Yahoo this.
You'd
be like, you're going to do what? That sounds a little profane. I'm not sure what you're talking about.
But that in the essence is what you're doing. So you need to play their games largely in a sense their advertising game in order that they can charge the most money and earn the most money off the people that are showing advertising. That's quite a long way round of saying, but actually when we're doing SEO for people, we then start to look at things like cost per click data in line with organic SEO because actually they're intrinsically linked with inside Google. And that's not to say we recommend that people run ads for every keyword that we look at, but if you're splitting hairs between keywords that are very similar, or you're looking at, I don't know, conversion rates or terms that may convert better than others, we're going to talk in a minute about how SEO is a longer term game. But if you look at the cost per click data, the paid data, you can bet your bottom dollar that the terms that have more money behind them, that cost more essentially to bid for, they're the ones that are actually seeing conversions. They're the ones that people are inquiring on or purchasing on, or whatever the conversion mechanism at the end of them.
Yeah, it's like when you go into the store and you see there's a clearance rack and you go back there thinking, I'm going to find this perfect thing that I'm looking to wear and it's going to be on clearance. Well, probably not. The things that were not sold are over there on the clearance rack. And the thing that you really wanted that was the prime, high in demand, popular, whatever it is you're looking for, it's probably already gone because everybody went for it when it was in demand and they spent the full amount for that. The stuff that's left over and nobody really wants and doesn't fit quite right and is in the ugly colors, that goes over on the clearance rack. And those are the kind of leftover, ad campaigns that nobody else wants. But the ones that are selling the most and making the most money are the ones that work and the ones that everybody wants. So of course, those are going to be higher value.
That's exactly it. And that normally means that from an SEO point of view, they're also going to be the ones that are slightly harder to rank for. Now, this is where you maybe need to start thinking about who you pick your fights with a little bit more intelligently, let's say. So, if you're selling shoes and you're up against people like Nike and Adidas, the reality is that it's going to be a lot harder for you to pick the fight with them than it is going to be to do your local high street shoe shop, for example. That's not to say that you shouldn't bother and you shouldn't try, but when people ask the question, how long does SEO take? That's the discussion essentially that we need to have. So it's not just in order for you to appear on page one, you have to then displace somebody that's already there because there's only 10 results. So in order for you to be there, at least one person has to drop off that page in order for your listing to appear. So how are you going to bring that?
And it's not going to be Nike. Nike is going to make sure that they continue to fight and own that position no matter how much you're spending. Yeah. So I feel like that is probably the most common question I get is how long is this going to take? Aside from how much is this going to cost, how long is it going to take? And when can I start to see those results? And usually what I kind of say with a disclaimer of this is going to sound like a non-answer, but this is really the only answer that you should hear is that it really depends until we do all that research and figure out who you're up against, where you are, what the main keywords are that we're going after, and figure out what's happening in your specific marketplace. We can't have that answer. And so anybody that's giving you that answer is just kind of pulling it out of thin air and hoping you're going to buy it.
Yeah, you've hit the nail on the head. So the way we do that is your website, even if you've put no SEO effort into it whatsoever so far, your website does have an SEO value. We call it a domain authority. And it's literally a percentage score. And so whether you've done work on it before or whether you haven't, you have that value. And you can search for a domain authority checker and put your domain name in, and you can get the score very easily without any kind of scientific knowledge or anything like that. So the way we then translate that domain authority is that then gives us a benchmark of the terms that you are already ranking for and what their difficulty scores are. So when we run keyword research for you or your business, we will then include the keyword difficulty level, so the percentage of difficulty for each keyword. And if we know that your domain is already ranking for, I don't know, let's say terms between 20 and 25% difficulty, then we can very easily look at this list of keywords and say, right, well, there's terms on here that are 20, 25, 30% difficulty that we know you're going to rank for relatively easily. Now, there's more factors to it than just say, oh, well, I rank for 25 over here, so I'm going to rank for 25 over there. But we know that you're already playing in that ballpark or on that playing field. So we can generally start to see results with those terms within a couple of months, 2-3 months, and you will start to see some regular listings for those terms. Of course, if we know that you're ranking between sort of 20 and 25, and then instantly you want to start banging in keywords that are difficulty of 70% or higher, we're just not going to get anywhere near page one straight away. It's going to take a lot of time to build up your authority, to build up your reputation with Google, to build up the background of content you need and backlinks and site health and all of these different things in order to get you to rank in a meaningful position for those terms. So you bang on.